Well, I have decided that I decided in January that I was going to go no contact with my parents. Um,
Okay. And
I
how
had
old are
gotten
you?
to
And how old are you? And how old are they? And give me some
I'm
context.
41. My
41.
parents are in their early 60s. I was an accident, and so they got married. Um, I've been married for 18 years. I have three wonderful children.
Hmm.
I was saved when I was 31, so I did not
Oh,
grow up in a Christian family. And my husband is saved. We go to church. We trying to raise our children, in a
uh-huh.
Christian way. Um, I had finally hit the last straw because the last time I talked to my mother, we fought, of course, which always happens. But this time, it was because I hadn't previously talked to her since February before that. Because I had spoke to my brother in March, and he basically told me. So I moved away from where my parents live when I first got married. So I had been living out west for. I've been living out west pretty much my whole marriage until we just moved back to Wisconsin, or moved to Wisconsin just recently. My parents
Okay.
are in
And
Michigan.
remind me, how long have you been married? You said
18 years.
18 years.
18.
18 years. And your
Yeah.
kids are how old?
Um, 13, 10, and 8.
13, 2 to 9. Okay. 18 years. And you've lived away that whole time,
Yes.
right? Now,
Mm-hmm. Yes.
were you said you and your mom fought, of course, as you always do. You said something like that, right? You said that always
Yeah.
happens.
Yeah. We
Okay.
pretty much. Yeah, we pretty much
Pretty much.
fight a lot.
So, yeah. So this has been going on. These fights have been going on for 41 years.
Yeah. So when I became an adult, I read your book, and so when I became an
Which
adult, they
which book?
the boundaries.
Okay.
um, so when I became an adult, they decided that I was not, and I was still under their control, and
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. I got to hear that again. At least I got to say that again. I love that sentence. When I became an adult, they decided I'm not. How many people? Raise your hands, everybody. How many
yeah.
people's parents or somebody decided you're not? And okay, so they decided you're not, and you read boundaries, and
Yeah.
did that help you to show them? Oh, yes, I am. Is that what happened?
Yeah, I tried to, and they
Oh,
fought
wait a
me
minute.
every way
Wait,
possible.
wait, 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 wait. Whether they fight it or not, when you say I tried to,
Hmm.
did you try to make your own choices and they fought you and then you stopped being an adult? Or did you continue and they just didn't like
I continued, and they didn't like it.
it? Okay, so whoa, whoa, whoa. You didn't try to, you did it. They just didn't
Hmm.
like it.
Right.
Let's not sell yourself short here. You did it. You made your own choices.
Yeah.
You
Hmm.
you can go down and get your adult license at the DMV or wherever they sell those. You got it.
Right.
You're driving.
Yeah.
You're driving your life. Woohoo! Mom's doesn't have her hands on the wheel. Now she's screaming from another lane, but you can roll up the window, which it sounds like you did
Right.
last week. So,
Hmm.
so what's the question?
Well, so the uh, so now that I'm okay, so I just moved to Wisconsin, and I never told them because I haven't spoken to them since November, and I've
When
moved since.
and you
Yeah.
didn't speak to them with? Did you deliver that message? I'm done talking for a while.
Well, Am I supposed to do that? I mean,
I'm
so
I'm
I
not.
mean, this
I don't.
happens. This is very
Whoa, whoa,
common.
whoa, 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 whoa. What? First of all, before you ask me if you're supposed to or not, did you deliver the message or not?
No,
Okay.
no, but it's very common that we not speak to each other for months at a time. Um, and my parents will just
Okay.
act like, oh, everything's fine when they
Now,
feel like
were you
talking to
living in
me
their
again.
town? Were you living in their town that you
No,
moved away from? Okay.
Well, I
All
mean,
right.
yes. When I originally first got married, I was living near them. My
But
dad's, my
not
parents,
last year.
no, I was living out west.
Okay. All right. So you moved and you didn't tell them. So what's the
Right.
question? Give me a question.
Do I have to tell them? Like, do I mean, do
Wait
I
a minute.
have to explain?
I don't understand. I'm sorry. I'm gonna joke with you here. Okay. Ready? Are you
Mhm.
ready?
Okay.
Do you
Hmm.
have to tell them? I'm sorry. I thought you were an adult. I thought you got to decide what you had to do and not. But you're asking me. Are you asking me if you have to? Do you see what I'm saying here? Do you have to? Why would
Yeah.
you get to decide that? Why? Who's gonna? What? How? Where would I get that answer?
For me.
I think so. Now you may, in your deciding how you're going to live your life, what some people would say, and when I say, well, where would you get that answer? And where this is true in my life, when I have a question, I don't know, and I would change it from have to, because you really don't have to do anything, right? But I would be asking,
Okay.
because as an adult, the only people that have a parental authority, I'll say parental slash authority over us, are people that we agree to grant it to. And for me, ultimate parental authority is God,
Right.
because I have chosen, as some other people have chosen on the planet, and some other people have not chosen this. I've chosen to say with Joshua, remember what he said? As for me and my house, we're going to serve the Lord. Remember that? So I'm going to, when I
Yeah.
say, do I have to do something? I'm going to ask God, is this something you want me to do? But even that's not a have to, because you can say, like Joshua always said, if it's disagreeable to you to serve the Lord, then serve him you will. So I want to get you in touch with, you don't have to do anything. You
Okay.
choose to do things based on the values that you have chosen. So here's my question. What would make you feel like you have to?
Well, the whole
Where's that pressure
so
coming
um I don't know how to honor them with the way they treat me, and
from?
with
I
them
got
not
it.
being as my dad claims he's a Christian, but he's also an expert gaslighter, so he knows. He just even his own sister says she doesn't believe 40% of what he even says. So I don't know. I don't think they are, but they sure do like to throw it at me because they know I am now.
Yeah.
I want. I don't know how to honor that. And in some
Well, what?
way, I wonder.
Yeah. Okay. That's good. So you're answering my question where you feel like the kind of like, why should I do this? Well, you want to know if God wants you to do this or not.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yes.
Do I hear pain when you answer that?
Oh yeah.
Tell me about
Yeah.
that. Tell me about that.
I have never had a good relationship with my mother, and
Mm.
basically they've convinced my brother that he never has to visit me because I'm the one that moved away, and he's the only thing that was keeping me trying to keep a relationship with my parents. He was the only reason, and they took him away, and
Mm.
he
Mm.
won't, he doesn't contact me, and we got in a big fight about it, and he took
Why
their
won't
side.
why won't he why won't he talk to you?
I don't know, because the last time we talked, we got in a big fight, and I've tried to call him, and
What was the fight
he's
about?
um, just things that the I didn't call my dad for his birthday. I sent him a card, and I was really
So
busy, and I didn't call him.
your brother is mad at you because of you limit your contact with your parents?
Yeah, because they go and talk to him about it and triangulate him against me to try
Yeah.
and, because they're,
And so does he
his
talk
dad's
to
a
you about it, or
narcissist.
does he
So
just avoid you?
that was the first time he ever did. And before it was always,
But did
well,
he
I'll
talk
support
to
you.
you
I don't,
about it? Did he talk to you about it,
yeah.
or did he just ignore you?
No, he talked to me about it. That's what we argued about when he called.
Okay.
And
Okay.
he
So
told
is
me
your
he would never
question
visit me.
never visit you again?
Yeah, he said he would never come out and visit me because I'm the one that moved away. So it was my responsibility to come and visit them.
Them or him?
Well, so my brother rents from my parents in the same town that they live in. So they all live in the same town.
Okay. I would want you to do something, first of all. I would want you to separate. How old's your brother?
38?
38. Okay. He's not 12.
No.
My point is he's an adult, right? So
Yeah.
yeah, I understand. I would he's not, but he is. His driver's license says he is. His adult license says he can only drive with a permit. Okay. So I would want you to separate your brother from your parents in your head. Okay. They are trying to relate to you as a unit. It's like they got collective bargaining going on. They're trying to leverage all this together to make you do something, or they go on strike. Okay. Families are not unions, but they have united. And you can't let yourself get sucked into that deal. Now, they can live out that deal if they want to, but you don't have to. So I would relate to my parents, and I would relate to my sibling, because my hunch is that for a number of reasons, your options are very, very different with each of them. I think your parents, the way you've described it, it's much less likely that you're going to get them to the bargaining table than it is that you're going to get your brother back into a conversation. I think he sounds more workable, would be my guess. Is that right?
I don't know anymore now. I mean, this was
Well, I know now, but historically.
Yeah. Right.
Okay.
Yes.
That's why I would treat them different. There's an anomaly going on now for whatever reason that they have control of it. So in regard, I'm going to answer in a couple ways, and then I got to get to another caller. But I'm going to answer your first question. Are you supposed to let them know? Here's why: unless there is a danger, are you in danger in any way? I mean, some parents,
No.
it's okay. You're not in danger. Okay. So
with them?
Yeah.
Only mentally, emotionally, but no.
Okay.
Not
okay.
No.
All right. I would want you to reach out over the fence in their property and get your stuff. In other words, you used to live in their house, you moved out, but you left some of your stuff there, or they grabbed it and hid it. And that stuff is your control of your life and how you feel, and their power to make you feel like you got to do stuff and not do stuff, and you're being bad or good or whatever they try to manipulate you with. Okay. So here's why I'm saying this. I want you to have all of your stuff in your control, your choices, your desires, your wants, your thoughts, your values, all things. I want you to have your own life. Remember, we talked about the driver's license, right? The adult license. I want you to have all that. Now, if you have all of that and they have opinions about that, and you've taken the power back from them to affect how you feel about yourself, then you're an adult, you're self-regulated, and they don't have the power to make you feel less than or bad or any of that stuff, right? Now,
Right.
having said that, I would think, and I'm not going to suggest this, I'm going to put it out there as an option for you to think about because I don't know enough about you to know how difficult this would be or if it'd be hurtful or not. But I would want, you know, most adults, unless they're in witness protection program, or unless they got to have a restraining order on somebody, unless they're in danger, most adults don't mind telling people where they live. Okay. Right?
Right.
You're afraid to do that. And the reason you're afraid to do that is because they have this control still over how you feel and all of that. So if they're not going to hurt you, what I would want you to consider, and if this is too dangerous, you go talk to your therapist and say, no, I can't do that. I'm in exile right now. I'm hiding. I'm David running from Saul. I'm in the caves. I don't want them to know where I am. That's fine. But if there's not a good reason to do that, I would want you to be able to say, yeah, I moved across the country and I live here. I'd love to have a relationship with you guys. Now, if you don't want to just because I moved, then that's up to you. But I would like for us to be a happy family. I'd like to have a relationship. But yeah, I did move. See, that takes the power away from them. You're not living in caves anymore. Yeah.
So they're still controlling me by not telling them.
If you're not telling them out of psychological fear and not real danger, or real danger being triggered to injurious levels. I've treated people with PTSD. I don't want them talking to their family. I don't want them anywhere near their family until they're not going to be injured by that conversation. Now, sometimes if it makes them anxious, I want them to step into it and learn to get over that, fight that battle. But there's some people I don't want to do that. And only you and your doctors can make that call. So I'm not going to suggest that because I don't know. But if it's not going to hurt you, if it's not dangerous, let's get your life back. Not be in hiding. That's what I would want to do.
Okay.
And
well,
then
I'm only hiding from them. So.
Okay. Well, what are they going to do? Be upset? Oh, wow, that's a new thing.
Right. Yeah.
But what if you weren't upset that they were upset? Now that would be a new thing.
Right.
Wouldn't it?
Yes.
And let me venture a guess. I would bet, if I were a betting man, I would bet these are people that kind of stay upset. They don't ever get into I'm not upset mode, no matter what you do.
Right.
So where's the loss?
Higher every
Yeah, it gets higher.
Well, that's why
you know why it gets higher? Because you jump over the last one. You're carving out yourself out of the hole here. You're digging your way to daylight. Good for you. Now then, I would say to your brother, Joey, dude, I love you. I mean, you're my bro. We've been at this for a while. We both struggle with them. Right now, I'm really struggling with them. But that's me and them. You're my brother. So I want us to have a relationship apart from our parents, because that hasn't gone well. Bringing our parents into our relationship is keeping us from having a good thing. So you let me and them worry about me and them, and you and I have something that's untainted. You want to do that? You want to be my brother? That's what I'd say to him.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
I hope that helps.
Thanks.
Okay. Thanks for your call.
Bye.
Oh, goodness. Have y'all noticed? I don't know if you've noticed this or not, but sometimes family is hard. I read that somewhere. Oh, yeah. It was in the Bible. Yeah, God had a couple of kids, and they said, "Nah, we don't want you to be our parent. We'll be our own parents." And then they ran off and did their own thing, and they had a couple of kids for a minute, and then one of them killed the other one, and then they had a bunch. It's this family thing can sometimes get pretty tough. But here's the deal: the good thing is this, that you as an adult did not get to, if you look at your history, I don't know if you noticed this or not, but you did not get to choose your biological family, did you? Sorry. that's a, that's a choice that people don't get to make. But here's the good news, that you can be born again. And that one you get to choose your spiritual family, your community. One of my favorite verses. They came to Jesus, said, "Hey, your mother and your brother and your sister are out there waiting on you." And he turned to him, he said, "Who's that? Who's my mother and my brother and my sister? But those who do the desire of God." Now, what is the will of God? That word means desire. What is the desire of God? Let me translate that to you. Here's God's desire, that he has three things. It has been told you, oh man, Micah 6 says, it has been told you what the Lord requires. This is his desire. Three things: to love mercy, meaning to be kind, compassionate, loving to each other; to love mercy, to do justice, play fair, don't break the rules with each other, to hurt each other, don't steal and lie and cheat and connive and judge. Don't do that stuff to each other. So love each other, play fair, and walk humbly with God. Meaning, basically, don't be narcissistic and act like you're God. And don't be self-ruled and act like you're God, making up all of the rules that you're going to live by. Because God has some transcendent rules, like don't lie, cheat, steal, be unfaithful to each other, hurt each other, gossip, triangulate, be oppressed, haughty, judge, ignore, not resolve conflict, write people off. Yeah, you know what? Some people, that's the rules they live by because they're playing God. Well, God has some different rules. So basically, here's what he said. You know what? There's some stuff that I require here. So when he says, who are my mother and brother and sisters? In other words, as an adult, you didn't get to choose your biological family. And I'm not saying write them up. I believe in strong, extended generational ties in extended family. It's one of my highest values. But you got to work that system to the degree that the system is able to work it, because they're who they are. You get to pick that. You got dealt some cards. If you've ever played poker or bridge, you deal the hand you play with the hand you're dealt. But to be born again, I get to start over. I get to have a spiritual family that I get to choose. Which ones? Well, Jesus told us which ones to choose. The ones that do the three things that God wants, that are merciful and kind and loving, they play by the rules, and they don't act like God in your life. They're humble before Him instead of acting like Him. Wait a minute, I get to have that kind of family? Oh my gosh, what a deal. Yeah. And you know what? If you join a community like that, and the closest people to you are people like that, not only do you get the family you always wanted when you use your people picker, but they'll even help you to deal with the one that you inherited and strengthen you to be able to be strong enough and healed enough to call them and say, hey, I forgot to tell you, I moved across the country. And then they yell at you, go, oh, I'm sorry, that's frustrating to you. Well, I got to go. If you want to talk about it, call me. And then you hang up the phone. And instead of falling into a black hole depression, you go over here to your new family who's going to what? Do the will of God, meaning they're going to be merciful. They're going to support you. Oh, I'm sorry that happened. Hey, you know what? We're here for you. You're not alone. They're going to do justice. They're going to play by the rules. They're going to say, well, that's not good what they're doing. They're the ones that are wrong here. We're going to be just and judge the right people. You're not bad for doing that. They are. And then they're going to be humble and say, you know what? We're all in this together. None of us is better than each other. Let's support each other. You're going to be a tribe. And there you go. Family's hard, but as an adult, you do get to choose your community. You do get to choose your spiritual family. And by the way, some of you inside right now, and I will get these, if I hadn't have said it, I bet I would get the messages. But what if your spiritual family abuses you too? I went to church. I went to this friend and understood, but we forgot the requirement. The requirement is we have to pick the spiritual family and go to the spiritual family that does what? The three things that God wants. They're loving, they're just, and they're humble, and they submit to a law bigger than themselves. You go there. We wrote a book on this called Safe People. And that's kind of what you will more likely to ultimately find if we keep looking for that.